Good morning. This is David Bedein, behind the scene with David Bedein, and I have a special guest today, my neighbor Esther Schlesinger, whose whose grandson was murdered 10 days ago, and the circumstances of his killing. This brings a whole human side of the story of what's going on. Esther, welcome to my program. There's a great commandment to let my people know. And thank you, despite everything you're going through, that you're willing to be here to talk about what you're going through and to share with the people of Israel. So, Esther,
Yes. What do you ask?
what happened?
What happened with Dvir?
Yes.
Dvir was 18, going to be 19 a week ago. He was very close to us. He was studying near 10 minutes walk near our home. And he came to us all the time, almost every day. And I don't know how to describe him because it will sound like I make it much more, but he was pure, loving boy, and really loved by so many people. His teacher told us that in the end of the year, he asked every student to write down 2 names of their best friend. When he opened the notes, he found out that most of them had his name. He was always such a special person, such good light.
Esther, do we have any idea who committed this crime?
No, it was very easy. So easy. 1 minute, somebody grew all his life trying to do this and this and this, and somebody other came. He never did anything to him. He doesn't know his name. He did not take anything from him. He came from the back, put out a knife, and that is, and he disappeared. He finished his work. He will be very, very proud in his village. He will be paid by the Arab organization. And he did something heroic.
All the context is that the Palestinian Authority has established an unprecedented fund to pay, to give a gratuity, a prize to anyone who will murder a Jew. In this case, we're talking about Esther's grandson.
I can't describe him. He was a boy. He was 18 years more than a boy, but really lived in a world that he built, his family built, a loving surrounding, doing good. For example, the last 2 or 3 months, he saw a hamor, how do I say?
A donkey.
A donkey who was beaten, who was ill, who was very, very thin. And the man who was with him, his boss, hit him, and my grandson Dvir saw it. And he went to this man and asked, how much do you want me to pay to buy your donkey? and he saw a stupid boy who wanted to buy such a donkey. He said a very high price. And my sweet grandson gave the money, took the donkey, took him to the study place, feed him, never put something around his neck of the donkey until he became healthy, little more fat, and he let it go.
So
This was he. And he called the donkey, Ahavat Olam. I don't know how to.
Ha'avat Olam, the love of the world. Love of the world.
This was the name of the donkey. And near the students where they were living, he made a garden. Whenever he came to me, he took tools to make the garden better. He was such nothing evil was in him. I loved him.
Esther has been my neighbor for 20 years, and we saw Dvir grow up. And again, he was just about to become 19. And the story of a young man who was murdered in the context of the policy of the Palestine Liberation Organization, establishing a Palestinian Authority fund, an official fund to award anyone who murders a Jew. And the two killers were caught, and they were going to be awarded this week. And the question, why the world allows this to happen, why the world does not punish the Palestinian Authority for such a crime, why the people who write the checks are not disciplined, are not arrested, and why Abu Mazen, also known as Mahmoud Abbas, why he's not arrested for this crime.
Even now that we are in such a pain, I don't להתחלף.
I don't want to change.
I don't want to change with them. I don't want my grandson to be a murderer. I don't want any evil, any bad thought to enter to our family. We want to grow children who love people, who think that the world is good and are far, far away from the thought that they have right to take other person's life. I don't want to be near them, to inhale anything of the thought that you have permission to kill somebody.
I think that's very clearly stated, Esther, in terms of your strength as a woman, your strength as a Jew, your strength as a grandmother, your strength to see the situation as it is, to remember Dvir in his legacy about something I didn't know, that he even for the health of a donkey, he was caring. He cared.
He cared.
He cared about the health of a donkey.
He was somebody that when he entered our home, whenever he entered, it made everybody smile because he was smiling. He was having a good feeling to anybody who is near him.
This is the legacy of Dvir Sorek, the grandson of Esther and Tovia Schlesinger, our neighbors the past 20 years. Thank you. Well, the role this morning is to get this message out to the Jewish people and to the people of the world. This is the most unreported story, with so many reporters who come to Israel. And you know that my work for the last 32 years has been to work with the press in the most reported story in the world, however, the most neglected story in the world. This story about the fact that there's a killer incentive fund has not gotten into people's consciousness. It's not known. It's not discussed. Even though 4 years ago we found the document of the statute in the Palestinian Authority legislature in their law system, which actually gives the precise details of what everyone gets when they murder a Jew. And it's not only that they get that the killer gets the money, but the family gets the money for life, and they become respected for life. Now, there are people say, "Oh, this is a Nazi idea." The German Nazis, and Esther will tell you in a minute about what her experience was with the Nazis as a child. The Nazis never had an incentive for killing Jews. Of course, they organized enough people to murder Jews, but there was no incentive in their law that if you kill a Jew, you get such and such amount of money. Nor was there a system for honoring someone who murdered a Jew. Esther, you survived the Nazis as a child.
I was 5, 6 years old in Hungary when the German came in, took over, and I don't know what I have to say, but the result was my mother, my brother Mendy, my brother Dudi, my sister Ruti, my baby brother, all of them were killed in Auschwitz-Birkenau, and I never saw them after it. I was in ghetto. I was hidden as a child, and they hide me because I don't look so Jewish. And this is why they accept me to be hidden for a lot of money. Then I was again in Budapest. I was they נפצעתי.
You were hurt?
Not hurt. A bullet entered to here, and all of the stories. I don't want to go over it, but what I want to say is that I decide bad people, bad soul, bad will not enter the families that I will be in Israel. Only in Israel I can be myself. Everywhere they want me not to be a real Jew. Here I can be. My husband is professor for health physics, and he could stay with a high salary in many places, but we feel, I have to say, safe only here. Here is our home. We don't have another place.
Esther has written a book about her experiences as a child, as a hidden child, and maybe one day someone will come and offer to put it into English. It's a powerful.
It is in English.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I have it in English.
Here, I didn't know that. Esther, tell us the name of the book.
Candy for Mommy.
Candy for Mommy. Okay.
You know why?
Why?
After the Holocaust, I grew up in orphan institute, and once in a week, they gave us 2 candies, one white and one red. And I love everything sweet, but I went to the garden, to a place. I took a little paper and I covered the candies, and I prayed to God, please God, give it to my mommy. And I did it every week. And I ask him every week, did you give it to my mommy? I never heard the answer, but the name of the book, Candy for my.
Well, and can people get this book through Amazon?
And no, but I can give you a lot of the books. You can do with them
All right, but you can.
whatever you like.
How can they order the book? How can people order your book?
If you want them to call you, I will.
Here's the story. I didn't expect this. This is our new project, marketing Esther's wonderful book, which we read in Hebrew. We did not know it was in English,
It
but
is
we
in
have
English.
we have a website, israelbehindthenews.com, and on the israelbehindthenews.com, there are all the ways that you can be in touch with us by email, by Twitter, by fax, by phone, and you'll see and be in touch with us if you'd like to get a copy of Esther's book, and I will make the connection. It'd be an honor to make the connection. Letting people know what's I always say for people watching this program, and this is basically the first edition of Behind the Scene with David Bedein. That part of our story is I call it "Let My People Know." If we can, if we can, in a little bit, sensitize the people of the world to what's happening here in Israel, what happens to the people here in Israel. And this is Esther, in a sense, she covers a few generations, few experiences, some terrible, some positive. And
But I have to tell you,
please,
it happened, and the community where my son lived, and here where we live together, is so warm. They hug you, they take care of you. I did not have to make any meal from the time it happened because all the neighbors, everybody came and helped. We are really between, it is in the Bible written, בתוך עמי אנוכי יושב. I sit among my people. Here they feel what I feel. They understand the sadness, but we will continue to build. We will continue to make this place the best place for Jewish people.
thank you, Esther.
You're welcome.
I think that was a short interview, and we'll wrap it up today. Behind the Scene with David Bedein. You can see our website, israelbehindthenews.com. Send in your comments, your questions, and we're looking forward to doing this once a week to bring the reality of the people of Israel to you in a way that's open, that's clear, that's from the heart. Thank you.